So the 8th episode of Dexter Resurrection just dropped, and I'm sure most of you thought the same thing I did, that Al was going to be Dexter's final kill to officially wipe out the entire serial killer club. Like the trailer promo for episode 8 essentially baited us, and honestly I actually like that they didn't take him out. But here's the thing. Based on this episode, it feels like Al knows something is seriously off with Dexter. In fact, I think he may even suspect that Dexter was the one who killed the rest of his friends in the serial killer club. And let me break it down to you guys. So near the start of the episode, Dexter calls Al and asks him to hang out. Now Al tries to brush him off, saying that he's going to see Hamilton on Theater Street, but Dexter pushes back, insisting that they meet afterward for food, and Al eventually gives in. Now, fast forward. When the play ends, Dexter is waiting outside by his car for Al to show up, but Al, he never comes, and he never shows up. In fact, I don't even think he was there at all. And it turns out that he quote-unquote left halfway through the play, but as I already said, I just don't believe that at all. But either way, he managed to slip away from Dexter, and that is pretty hard to do. And also, Dexter didn't like that one bit. He was actually fuming in that scene if you watch it back. He then calls Al, asking where he is, and Al gives him the excuse about leaving early. And as soon as the call ends, Al tosses his phone out the car window, cutting off all contact with Dexter for good. And that's the key moment for me, because I don't think Al is as naive or gullible as he pretends to be. On the surface, he plays this bubbly, clueless act, but I think it's all a front. I think this guy is just pretending to be a dum-dum. And let's not forget, this guy is a serial killer with a family. He's been hiding in plain sight, evading the cops, and maintaining his cover for who knows how long, just like Dexter did back in the original series, and also just like the Trinity Killer. And that alone shows he's smarter than he lets on, which is why I'm convinced that Al has already figured out that Dexter is a serial killer, and that he was the one who took out the entire serial killer club. And now with Al escaping in this episode and driving back to his hometown, I think it's pretty obvious that he'll be back in season 2, and maybe even as a season-long villain, which honestly, he reminds me a lot of the Trinity Killer. Now, not exactly the same vibe, and not exactly the same physical stature. They don't really look alike at all, and Trinity is way taller, but as in they both have families they use as a cover to look normal, when in reality, it's all a mask for their true selves. And that's why I believe Al is being set up as the next Trinity figure of the show, because think about it, if he figured out Dexter wiped out the entire club before Prater did, that makes him a serious threat. That makes him smart and dangerous enough to last a whole season. So who knows, maybe in season 2 we will see Al return. And although it might seem pretty weird having another Trinity-like killer for another season of Dexter, it kind of makes sense considering that season 4 of Dexter was the best season considered by a lot of fans who actually watched the show, so the writers would kind of want to have a Trinity-type killer, but if they play this out bad and it's poorly written, then it could go all wrong, but I don't see that happening whatsoever. And I'm not gonna lie, the writers of the first season of Resurrection, they completely cooked. So I don't see them fumbling the bag with Al, but who knows, at the end of the day, anything is really possible. I personally like the character, so I feel like a lot of other people will like the character. And also, before I sign out, I just want to say that I have a Discord that talks all about Dexter Resurrection, so if you want to join and talk about Resurrection with other like-minded people who also love Dexter, join the Discord down below, and yeah, share your theories, share your thoughts, literally whatever.